All right. Y'all ready? All right, great. I want to welcome everybody to the September 5th meeting, and it's 6 o'clock. If I can call this meeting to order, I need approval of the agenda.
Second.
Say, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, we got that. Oh, we got a special guest, Miss Pastor Judy Gordy from Covenant Community Connection Bible Church is going to open us up in our invocation and pledge. Welcome.
Just started to say, if we'll all stand. Father, we come to you in Jesus' name, and we thank you for this group of men and women that you put together to govern Jones County. Jones County is anointed. It's a county where everybody wants to come. But Father, with the decisions that our commissioners are going to make tonight, we ask you to give them wisdom and knowledge to govern this wonderful county in Jesus' mighty name. We thank you for the blessings you have on us. We thank you for your protections that you've given us. And we give you all the glory and honor and praise in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Before we start planning and zoning, we'll hear these requests, but if anybody here tonight is in opposition of these requests, you will have opportunity to speak. Mr. Petrowski?
Chairman, our first item this evening is a request by Thomas Brewer. He's asking to have metal siding on a dwelling to be constructed in the agricultural district. This is a conditional use. It's located at 1013 Five Points Road. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request.
Mr. Brewer, you want to come forward and say anything, or if the board's got any questions, just come.
I think I probably said enough. But no, I appreciate you letting me come and the planning and zoning accepting my proposal. I would love to have y'all's blessing on it so we can start our home. So,
Any questions for Mr. Brewer?
None.
None. Anybody here tonight opposed for this request?
Motion to, Motion to approve this request.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
thank you, sir.
Bet.
Thank y'all. Appreciate you.
Pretty area out there.
That's where I fell out my first tree while hunting,
Oh.
courtesy of Tommy Brewer.
Dang, Tommy, you could do a better job.
We're ready. Go ahead.
Chairman, our final zoning item this evening is a request by Kevin Lucas to allow an additional lot on an existing private road. This is Posey Drive. Because this is a variance, the Planning Commission does not make a recommendation on this. Mr. Lucas brought a plat to our office today. It's showing a 12-acre lot that he would like to create on this property.
I'd like to come forward and tell us a little bit about it, and any question?
The sole purpose of the plat is on the request of the bank. We just recently built a house on it, so for mortgage purposes, they asked us to lower the acreage down to where just a house and the 12 acres. And the reason the 12 acres is because the whole land's under conservation. So by doing the 12 acres, it still allows them to do the 2 acres, then they'll leave the 10 for the conservation. That's why the 12 acres was chosen for that. The sole purpose is just for the bank so they can get, they said for better appraisals or comps for their appraisals. So that's what it's for.
Any questions? Anybody here tonight opposed to this request? Commissioner Wood?
Motion to approve this request.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tim. All right, we move to board appointments. We have Middle Georgia Regional Commission Board non-public voting member. We have a opening now, and it's just for informational purposes only, but this opportunity for somebody maybe to, we always ask for help throughout the county. This might be an opportunity for somebody to be a public voting member on the Regional Commission. They feed you once a month. Got a shindig for Christmas every year. Very interesting. You learn a lot, but you're also serve on behalf of the county. No education, no classes, so what?
Has to be a citizen.
Has to be a citizen,
Because it says non-public.
non-public. I'm on the regional commission, but we got non-public would be, that don't make sense, non-public.
That's what I
It's a
thought.
citizen.
It's a citizen.
I thought it was a citizen.
It's, it has to be a resident of the county and cannot be an elected official.
Okay, so there might be opportunity if somebody's interested, or the board's got anybody that might want to step up and serve in this capacity, we would appreciate it to think about it.
What did William Lee
He-
step
he-
down?
He did.
You did?
That's my cousin. He said he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, he's working out of state mostly.
But like I said, it's once a month, they feed you, you learn a lot, they'll have guest speakers come in and speak, there's no classes to take, so,
What time of day do they meet? That way, when we're talking to citizens, we can let them know see if it conflicts with their work schedules.
Thursday at 6. You start at
Okay.
5:30 eating, and I think
So
the
it's an
thing starts
evening.
right after clean air coalition.
Okay, so it's an evening meeting, okay.
I think it's 5:30 and 6, and you said no trainer or anything. That's what's nice about this board appointment. You don't have to go to any classes for it. But if y'all have somebody or somebody interested, please let us know. All right, moving on, consent agenda approval for the minutes. We had a work session on August 15th, along with the third Tuesday, executive session on the 15th, and a call meeting on the 24th.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, Ms. Jordan asked, she's not going to be here tonight, so we'll remove it. We move to new business. If I can get a motion to cancel the courthouse drive valve replacement, Donald figured out how to fund this today, so this won't be needed.
Motion to remove item number 1, Chairman.
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Donald.
Thank you, Donald. Found some money in the hidey hole, didn't you? Mr. Tony George, appeal of the sales ratio study.
Commissioners, how are you?
Just fine.
Good. I'm here to ask you to send a letter to the Department of Audits and Accounts to appeal the 2022 ratio study. As you know, we're supposed to be between 36 and 44%. This year's ratio study dropped us to 3290. After doing a deep dive of the ratio study, I found some discrepancies in the study. As you know, this could affect public utility revenue, some 75 to 100,000 if we don't get it up. The good thing is that the 1.6 million that I told you in new revenue, this won't affect that number. I already calculated that into that number, so that number doesn't change. But we need to get it up because what I found is what they used is not reflective of the Jones County real estate market. They used some sales that are not reflective of the market. So we need to appeal that because it doesn't reflect the current market. Only the Board of Commissioners and the Board of Education can initiate an appeal. We can be, the Board of Assessors, Tax Assessor's Office can be your representative, but we cannot initiate the appeal. That's by statute. Okay? So the Board of Education has been very proactive in sending their letter already. They've already sent their letter, and it's been received by the Department of Audits and Accounts. And matter of fact, I already have an appeal date and time. I just think it would be good for the Board of Commissioners to send in a letter. At this point, you would have to overnight it because it has to get there by September 8th, so that we can all be on the same page in appealing this ratio study, because it needs to go up. Now, the ratio study, the Department of Audits and Accounts did something very different this year. Out of 159 counties, 50% of them are under 36%, which has never happened before. It's very unusual. So I don't know what different they did this year, but they did something very different. And I can't speak for those other counties, but from what I found, we have a pretty good case.
And can you share the impact of the sales ratio study being contested and made in
No,
our favor?
There's no impact as far as we're concerned, as far as filing an appeal. As far as we're concerned, but like I said, it could affect the public utility revenue. We could also get a letter from the Department of Revenue to raise values significantly in 2024, if the number stays where it's at.
Keep in mind, Daylon, about 9,000 parcels were already raised this year. And
Right.
so there was a significant effort on the Board of Assessors, department to raise values. And so it is odd, as Anthony said, that the state came back with an odd number.
I just wanted him to state that for the people that are watching, the why behind it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been 7 years since Commissioner Kitchen and I both had this class, but I remember, it's because we're not high enough. Is that on those numbers?
Well, I wouldn't say that. My statistics say a different number.
Right.
And that's the number that I look at throughout the year compared to what they used.
Right.
So that's my issue with the study, is that my number says totally different than what they used. They used very low ratios, to be honest with you. And if you use very low ratios, you're going to get a very low ratio in the end. But using that number of low ratios is not reflective of our market. And I have the statistics that prove that. So.
I'm like Commissioner Wood. We're all, everybody's already hurting. We've already raised so much. I can't imagine us having to,
And we don't need a letter from as Anthony said, we get a letter from the state, and they'd almost demand we raise valuations significantly across the board in the county. We don't need that. So this is where it's imperative we appeal this.
Yeah.
I would agree 100% that we need to appeal this. I'm a little bit of concern that, well, let me ask this, Anthony, is the appeal process just a formality, or do we have to bring documentation of why our assessments are different than theirs?
No, the Board of Assessors will be your representative. You're just filing the initial appeal. I have all the information to give to them to say, here's what you need to really look at. So there's nothing that you all need to do.
Right, I was asking more about the process of, is it just a formality of you guys taking information that they need, or do we have to argue a case in front of somebody?
No, the appeal's going to be here in my office, and representatives of the Department of Audits and Accounts will come down, and we will have a discussion across the table. And I will give them.
So it's not something we would need legal representation for?
No, not at all.
And the only other concern not a concern, I do want to bring it up though, I think this request, so the Board of Education has already sent a letter.
Yes.
Do you know when they sent it?
It was received on the 28th.
Because I mean, I know they meet less often than we do, and this letter came on the 22nd, so that's 7 working days. And at this point, our letter really doesn't matter because it's already been initiated by somebody that is not, I mean, they're not the taxing authority for the county, so I think it probably should have been a joint effort between us and the school district. Because at this point, you've already got an appeal date, so,
We just need to be a unified front with the Board of Education going into this, with each presenting a letter to the state requesting this appeal.
I understand that.
Right.
But right now, that's too late unless we're going to overnight it.
Right. It can be
Yeah.
overnighted and they can receive it.
It's just an overnight letter.
Yeah, it'll be simple.
I'm
Just
just
puts
a little
us,
disappointed that the school board has already sent their letter and we hadn't heard anything about it till now. We're going to be unified. We should have been unified and sending the letters at the same time.
Any other questions? Mr. Board?
I'll make the motion.
Go ahead.
All right, make a motion to send the appeals letter for the sales ratio study overnighted to the state of Georgia.
Say it in a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
thank you, George. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wood? Tractors and mowers.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, tonight I'm just coming before you to explain a little issue we've got with the lease. We 2 of the sidearm tractors, those 2 tractors are available. They can go ahead and move forward with that lease, but they cannot put the one that's in production right now on the lease, so we have to do that in a separate agreement. The numbers are still the same, the purchase price, and the only thing different there'll be 2 different leases. For 2 sidearm mowers will be on one lease, and then the slope mower will be on the other lease.
Fine with me.
They're all ready now.
2 of them are ready. We're using one actually on Howard Roberts. The one we got for a demo, we asked could we put a few more hours on it, and they said just go ahead and keep it and use it if you need it, and we needed it. So
We've been using it. That's the Massey.
Massey Ferguson, yes sir.
It's got that diamond mower on it too.
Yeah. So it's working out good. Operators are warming up to it. There was a little learning curve there. It didn't operate exactly like our old John Deere's, but it operates more efficiently and it's safer. Good. We're expecting some good service out of these tractors. So appreciate y'all approving those.
We just need a motion to enter into lease on these 2 items, separate agreements.
moved.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Oh, this, Gray Highway New Construction Design Guidelines. Had a great meeting. I attended for Development Authority, and there was T.J. Heath and a couple others got to talking about the possibility of Gray Highway being our gateway into our community and how we might want to look into our construction guidelines. If you'll notice up there on the corner right now, they're taking that concrete wall and laying brick on it and whatnot, trying to come up with a more public view, nice, not just a concrete block building or just a metal building sticking out on the side of Gray Highway. Maybe we might want to look into some more design upgrades on future development on Gray Highway so that we can look nice and professional coming in. I think that's a plus. We got a lot of interest in the community, and I think if future development, we need to look at it. Thoughts?
So
I hear the word overlay in my head, but I also hear sort of having a master plan for how we want that to look. Did he have any recommendations?
He was just like block, brick instead of concrete block, having a nice brick, maybe a brick siding, not necessarily getting away from metal building, but exactly having a finished front to it that will kind of hide the look of the metal building behind, just something that, be attractive.
And there used to be like a streetscape sort of plan, I know.
You're talking about basically development ordinance.
Right. And I know.
Kind of like in some places, like you can't have a sign so high, it's got to be ground level.
Certain dimensions.
Right.
Even split-face blocks look better than just a straight blocks, I call them,
Right.
you know.
And they even actually like getting away from that and
Are they?
doing a more,
More stucco type or some type of textured.
stucco,
something wood-
brick, something that will
stone.
really a nice curb appeal to show off our community coming in, and we currently, obviously, we've got to have vegetation out in front of All Gray Highway now, but this possibly be something we need to look at, because you go to so many communities and you're going down the road and all of a sudden you just see a block building out in the middle of nowhere, and then you go down and see a nice business that did a great job of dressing up their front, and just kind of don't, I think we need to make a statement of the main road coming into Gray. That's what they
I would
see.
say all roads, especially corridors that come into the county.
Right, and we might want to look at that, but that was just a suggestion at Development Authority, and I know they're doing a great job on that corner, and there was some other comment, it'd be great to see that, because they're continued on. We've got some buildings there, you look at Paul Sheets, you look at the other building, there's some nice buildings in there that have a nice brick front and all, and I think
If you think about it, all the way from even when the brick house was built, and then Jack's, and even Taco Bell, believe it or not, those are they're nice looking
right.
buildings. I would agree that we need to have some kind of consistency. I don't know how far we want to go with, it's got to be this.
Right.
Because then you get into the, like Johns Creek, you can only have this type front facing of your building, I don't know if we're there yet.
And I don't know where we need to go with this, but it's something to think about going forward, because we talk about developing Gray Highway and that area, and I think it'd be a great opportunity to.
I agree. I think so far, we've depended on the developers to have our vision, and I think we need to get out there with it too and say, this is what we're looking for. Not tie anybody's hands, but at least
Right.
hold it to something that's presentable.
I know, at least I thought I remember over the bypass that we did something like that, like it's embedded into that. Yep.
Yep.
So, and I really like it around the bypass for the obvious reasons, because we had a vision of what we wanted that to look like. So I'd love to bring that document up and let's see how that looks and how that plays out across all corridors, because they're all entry points. The Development Authority in particular has to be concerned about the corridor that leads from the industrial park into the county,
Right.
right? And then how the other transitions from Bibb to Jones, from Baldwin to Jones look. Streetscaping dollars were out there for years, as well as creating those enterprise zones and then earmarking funds for those purposes. So I like it. I like it across all corridors, because they all need attention, and you don't want one side of the county to look different than the other side.
Right.
And especially if you're going to locate business in a large business industry, and they still got to travel through it. We talked about picking up trash and doing other kind of things, but I think we have to be good stewards on the front end of that.
Commissioner Kitchen, you might help, what have y'all used in the past? I know you run across this as somebody with a streetscape plan, or how do we go forward on that? Or Commissioner Martin, you know him?
The most direct experience I had is when we did the bypass, but I know Bibb County has done a good job with streetscapes. I know in Gray, at one point, there was something that went into play and happened.
We got a huge grant because that's when they did the park at the end of my grove, and it connected the high school
Yep.
with the pre-K, with the Board of Education.
Yeah, I mean, it is two different things, development and then streetscapes. So streetscapes, you can, I mean, land planners and landscape architects can do some really good designs on stuff like that. But I think we're looking more to what we tell developers and builders we want to see when we come down the road. So that can be incorporated into the developing and the construction of the buildings.
And I-
Site plans.
And I would say to not leave out the existing industries, whether it's an enterprise zone or a streetscape, that allow some grant dollars or development authority dollars to go their way to upgrade their facilities. Because I know some people have tried. I've seen, on 49 where there's been an attempt at C&Js in that area to do some work, and it would be nice if, some zones were designated and then that made them available with some resources to do it. Because, small businesses have struggled, and now if they want to look like the rest, there's a cost to getting there. And if we can find some way to help with that, I'd like to.
And like your idea of going, countywide on our main thoroughfares throughout the county, because that's what they see. And, that was one part of the meeting they had, is talking about, when they bring potential clients in, which route do we take? You want to take the prettiest route, and it'd be nice if we had that laid out for the future plans, that all the routes are, good looking, and you don't have to worry about it.
You
Absolutely.
can find some revitalization or streetscape grants that would help pay for that.
Mhm. I like it. Let's bundle it.
Maybe something we'd have to ask the city to partner with, because it would probably have to be a grant from them within the city limits. They're more favorable on downtown grants anyway.
Like I said, if any ideas or suggestions, we'll definitely look at it. All right. Great, moving forward. Old business, Mr. Risner, Keep Jones Beautiful position.
So in your agreement, or in your packet, you got the proposed agreement with the Chamber of Commerce, where they would kind of take on the duties of Keep Jones Beautiful. Tried to go through and based on the comments at the last meeting, make those changes. And so, let's see. So under scope of services there, you'll see I incorporated some of that list of specific tasks, organizing 4 community cleanups per year, organizing the Tree City USA planning, a certain number of appearances at the schools, acting as a liaison with the garden club. So I just kind of worked those into that scope of services list. I think Commissioner Martin had mentioned the compensation just going to the executive director position versus just saying anyone that works on Keep Jones Beautiful functions. And so under compensation there, number 1, I reworded that so that it just goes to the executive director position. And I think that was about it. I have talked with Amber Ayers from the Chamber of Commerce. She reviewed the changes and was good with those. And so I think they're, or at least the chair of their board is okay with this agreement as written.
I just wanted to clarify, the Chamber Executive Director, is that the person who's going to be the Keep Jones Beautiful person?
Yes, I mean that's the intent there, is that they'll have enough funds to hire one full-time person that will take. Now, that's not to say that I think they have an idea of using some of the board members of the chamber to help with some of that. But
The role and responsibility is specifically attached to the chamber executive director.
yes.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Risner on that? Ms. Vaughn, you good?
This is a little bit of an increase above, or was the salary, and I asked this last time, I'm sure, but.
A slight decrease. I think the existing salary was 25,000, and this is 20,000. The existing amount for maintenance, I think is, I can look it up real quick. I think both amounts are small decreases over what we're paying now.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason I had like 15,000 on the total beautification activities, but I didn't know some of that was from Keep America Beautiful, Keep Georgia Beautiful funding sources.
I think that would all be on the revenue side. So these were just based on our expense numbers.
I'm good with it.
You want to go ahead and make the motion?
Yes, sir. Make a motion, we approve the agreement between Jones County Chamber of Commerce and Board of Commissioners for Keep Jones Beautiful program.
Second.
Second, any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Have it, thank you. Mr. Risner, one more time, 4-H fan purchase.
Last time there was some interest expressed in looking at a couple different things related to this. We had the enterprise quote there, and Commissioner Martin, I think you had a question about the state contract price. I was able to find a similar vehicle through the state contract. The price there was $78,618. And then Commissioner Martin, I think, or Commissioner Vaughn, I think, has some pricing information on a used bus similar to what the school system has.
And that was new, and the one that we were looking at was used, right?
No, both the state contract and the enterprise were new.
And what was Enterprise, just remind me, Justin,
So it would amount to $1,300 a month that it would add to our lease. The total price, if you were buying it outright, would be $58,200.
And then I've got prices on anything from a 2002 to a 2013, 15-passenger certified manufactured school bus activity buses that have passed all of the testing to be labeled as a school bus activity bus. And they're anywhere from the 2013 has 111,000 miles on it for $49,000. Got a 2002 that's got 91,000 miles on it for $23,750. A 2003 with 70,000 for $31,500. And a 2011 with 61K for $45,000.
I know in the previous discussions, Brennan expressed that the air conditioner was not working or had some issues with that. Have we had a specialty shops, to use the correct terminology, such as
Thermal King out of Fort Valley.
Auto Air, some of these places that's all they touch? Have they been through it? Because a 10-cent O-ring in an odd place will make you have a leak that you can't find.
Auto Air's been through it twice.
Okay.
I know, and a couple other shops have checked it out too.
Did they give a warranty for their work when they went through it? Because
That I'd have to ask Brendan. I don't
normally
know.
when I have a vehicle going through, I've had the evaporator, the condenser, the compressor, all new lines, get out all the metal, and I'll pay several $1,000s for an AC system to be replaced, but I get a warranty and it's
Yeah.
I don't have any issues after that for years.
I'd have to check on that. I don't know the details of it.
Who do you use on your?
Classic Bus Sales out of Clarksville, Georgia.
Because I'm just,
How many miles we got on this one? Brandon's?
it's a
It's
2011.
163 or 183.
Yeah, it's a 2011. I asked him the other day, it was a 2011, Ford.
Gas burner?
I didn't ask him about the engine. I would think it was the gas burner.
These are gas burners.
And at some point, what we've done previously, that's an old transit bus. And so when the state is at least 2 years behind on those, so what they've traditionally done is they'll offer them to us at like $4,000. So that's all we've got in that one is like $4,000. And so, that option will come up again, and at some point, we don't know when, so that's all we have invested in.
So that
those.
is a transit bus just like these that I'm showing y'all?
It's the 5311, our transit service.
No, the one that we've got is not like this.
Correct. The one we've got is, the 5311 transit service where you got a doctor's appointment kind of thing, you call and they can pick you up. That's what it's, I don't know what the terminology is for what that's called, but that's how we get those. Okay.
We ain't got $4,000 in it, we can possibly put a whole brand new air conditioner in it.
For how much?
I can find that out for you too.
Cheaper than a new bus?
Right. It looks to be a fairly clean bus, but I mean, take the air conditioning system, shake it over the trash can, put everything back in new, and you have a lot less than $30,000 to $50,000 to $60,000. But
Well, I know we put brand new air conditioning units on old buses, and I paid $8,000 for, that's 2 units, front and back, and driver air.
You still got no
So-
connection?
Yeah, that's what I was texting.
Oh, okay. I'd like to do some research on that, and that more cheaper, more better, just,
I mean, as long as the motor and transmission, axle and brakes are in safe, serviceable condition, we have a bus here we can work with.
yep.
And then Jason, keep an eye out for 2 more $4,000 buses. In case we need parts.
Yeah. So if we can get something official on this as a motion as far as looking forward to maybe researching the new air conditioner system versus a new bus.
Motion to research new AC system for 4-H club bus.
Second.
Second. How did I get y'all to come up with something for motions when we get through this?
I thought it was just understood. It's understood.
Well, no, we're gonna make it official. If not, this lady on my right's gonna be sitting there, pat me on the hand going, you didn't do it right. So, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Did I do it right?
Yes.
All right. Department heads. Mr. Risner, you wanna start?
I don't have anything.
Wow. Autumn, you,
Just looking forward to the 2024 budget season. Thank y'all for what y'all approved.
thank you for finding that little hidey-hole of money that we could use to fix the valve on the dry valve. Ms. Shawn?
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman. Passed out some summaries over our work activity in August. Take a look at that in your spare time.
Good deal. And I know the welcome tractors is gonna be so I take it we're gonna put the other ones, we're gonna surplus them? Or you want to keep them?
I'd like to keep one, take the mower off of it and use it for a tractor to pull a roller on when we reshake their roads.
They got a grader box you need to come get from my house and just try it for a while and just try it. You'd be surprised what that thing will do.
Is it one of those with the V in it?
Mine got the 2-angle, I mean, you're welcome to use it. We redid the whole parking lot for the rec complex with my tractor and that, and it didn't take, with the air conditioner running, if it had been non-air, it'd probably been 4 hours, but it took 8 hours with air conditioning going to do that parking lot, but you'd be surprised what that thing would do, you know, on a lot of your road. It reclaims rock, it's something.
Yes, sir.
It's cheap.
Already looking at it.
You're welcome to borrow it and try it, 'cause I've had it for years and years, and it works. Any citizens tonight want to come forward? None? We'll go ladies first tonight on the commissioner comments?
None.
None?
I'm too tired.
How many buses you drive a day?
I got on one at 5:15 this morning.
Huh. Commissioner Martin?
All is well in the kingdom.
Man, we're gonna get over this. Mr. Wood?
I'll keep it short. I'm happy to see the leases and mowing equipment come up tonight.
Yeah.
There's been some discussions in the past week from citizens about getting some areas mowed. So I passed a mowing machine taken apart today on the side of the road, one of your sidearms on Starlins Road. So it was pieces and hoses laying everywhere, so I'm glad to see some leases coming online. All right, all is good.
Commissioner Kidd?
I got nothing, Chairman.
Anybody can take his take his temperature and make sure he feels all right, right?
Shannon said,
Shannon, she
already gave me the look.
Did you give him the look? Well, guess what?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, aye?
I got Daylon over here going,